Hello, I'm Pam.
I'm Jay.
And we are here today to talk about more authors that tell stories around the Pacific Rim and the Asian universe for Lunar New Year, the year of the wood snake.
Wood snake.
And we learned quite a bit about how that works in this wonderful book, Iron Widow. And we're going to do our best to pronounce the author's name correctly. Xiran Zhao.
Yes.
And she is just phenomenal. She is like a force.
So, the reason this book is fabulous, so if you like fantasy, this is a different type of fiction. And the fiction is pronounced...
Mecha?
Yes.
We think. We have
so,
credit to our student, Zen, who gave us some pronunciation.
And so essentially this coming-of-age story involves a battle, and the people battle in robots. And it made me think of like Avatar, where the character's in a robot, and they're able to do things you wouldn't be able to do in a human body.
Right, but they attach in through their nervous system.
Yes.
Like they have little prick points in their spine. And they attach into these giant, and they can transform them up
Transformer-like machines. So the reason the story was interesting is I really like the protagonist. Because I like that she was sort of like fierce, and she was sort of like take no prisoners. And I also like that she had a physical handicap.
Yeah.
And
her feet had been broken.
Her feet had been...
Or bound.
Yeah.
And she literally can't walk.
Sometimes she can't walk.
She's in a wheelchair for periods of time. But it's also, I really appreciated this idea of like having chi and this spirit pressure. Mm-hmm. And they talk quite a bit about the idea of having like your elemental spirit pressure. There's fire, there's wood, there's water, there's iron. And
just the harmony of all of that.
Right? Which is how we got to the wood snake.
Yes.
So she is this girl whose older sister is what we know her by her name, who has died trying to be a concubine
to the pilot. So backing up a little, so the story is there's a war, they're waging war, and the pilots are all, of course, guys. And the pilots need the energy of the concubine co-pilot.
Right.
And if they use all of her energy and it just so happens to kill her, that's just the way things are.
It's just the way it has to be. And and they measure your spirit pressure when you go in to see. And she has the highest spirit pressure of anyone that has 18,000 when she goes in to fight. And there's much about the whole concept of yin and yang and how she connects with this particular pilot after she kills the first one through her spirit pressure using all of his.
Which was like, everyone was aghast. Like,
how could that? Right?
Because that's not how things work in this world.
Right.
That they run the show and you are the helpmate, the support.
Right. And I know.
And so I like that she was like, not today, not with me. I am not doing that.
No. And
I love that.
Her second pilot, who is this person who is absconded, like having been made a prisoner, he really just wants to go read books and do calligraphy.
But, he was a bad guy to the people there. And so they're like, okay, because she killed the first one, we're going to pair her with somebody that we know is a bad guy. And if something happens to her, oh well.
But they connect, they're able to combine their spirit pressure, and they are so fierce. Yeah. And they make this giant phoenix bird, and they take on all the wind winds and
and the world that they exist in is so easy to understand. I mean, sometimes you feel, oh, what's going on? This is very visual. You can see these things happening. You understand the good guys, the bad guys. You understand the politics of it all. I mean, this was a fabulous, fun read. There's a sequel. We're ordering the sequel now.
Yes.
Cannot wait
for
the sequel.
So it's a little bit, if you liked Hunger Games, it's got a little bit of Handmaid's Tale, but it's set in China. It has Chinese mythology, Chinese history, and then this wonderful Mecha transformer robotics science fiction fantasy.
So it's fast moving, and you get all of these things.
I read it in like less than 2 days.
Yeah.
So I totally recommend Iron Widow. Jay totally recommends Iron Widow by Xiran Jay Zhao.